Hey guys, I'm Emma Garcia from DallasCowboys.com, and today I'm joined by Will McClay, Dallas Cowboys VP of Player Personnel. Will, just to start off, how's it going? Very, very different training camp than what you're used to from previous year. How's everything been so far?
It's good to be working, playing football, getting ready to play football. It's been different, but we're well prepared for it. We've got all the things that you need to do, and guys are out here practicing. We had the pads on today, so it's good. It feels like it's back to normal.
Well, something that's not back to normal is the fact that we won't be having preseason games this year, and we know that's a crucial part for player evaluation. Those games are super important. How are you guys gonna manage this whole thing when it comes to player evaluation throughout this whole process without having those preseason games?
I mean, they were big, but you have to find a way. And I think we're just going to evaluate. You have to spend more time evaluating the practice and all the different things that they do, paying attention in meetings and looking at ways guys pick things up. And, that's how we're going to do it. But Coach McCarthy and staff, they run a great practice to whereas you get to see a lot of things and it's going to be competitive.
Well, speaking of competitive, how do you guys try to recreate that competitive environment or create some kind of simulation to turn things up a little bit and create that kind of competitiveness, or however you say it, for these guys to actually showcase what they're capable of doing without having those preseason games?
Well, if we have to try and create a competitive environment, we got the wrong guys. So we feel like we have the right guys. What they have to do is go out and compete. And we feel like there's depth and there's competition for a job. And then Coach McCarthy is going to put guys in those situations to whereas, it's third downs, it's late in the game, and all these situations to also, figure out what their football intelligence is all about, as well as how well they compete, because everybody's trying to win a job.
Now, how has that relationship been with Coach McCarthy? We know that sometimes scouts are looking at different things and want certain things, but then coaches want something else. How has that been so far between you guys?
I think it's been great ever since he came in. He's talked about what he's wanted, and when he says, just get me good football players and we'll find a way to use them, and a lot of times it's scheme specific. And so what he's talked about is being versatile. If you got good players, we can adjust our scheme to do that. I'm sure there's principles behind everything, but it's using good players. And so that's been great for us, is to go out and try and find players that, have some traits that we feel like can fit in the NFL and can add something to us. And then they're using those pieces very well within the offense and defense and special teams.
Well, what position group would you say you guys, or at least you, as far as the coaching staff and scouting department, are focused on the most at this point?
I mean, we're looking at the whole team. I mean, because it is a new staff, we're looking at the different positions and who fits what and how do you adjust that based off of what we have. So I think there's a lot of competition in a lot of places. It'll be great to see, the receiver competition, the DB competition. There's a lot of, things in the defensive line. So it's just going to be an interesting battle throughout camp and how we put it all together. And it's going to be, the guys are going to have to contribute on special teams as well.
Now, because this is so tricky, in this scenario this year, do you guys lean towards more the veteran guys that have experience, or do you still take risk with the young talent?
I think you have to do a little bit of both, because there's still a salary cap and we have to figure out what's best. And again, what guys fit what we're trying to do. And we want to put the best 53 on the field.
Now, when you're looking at tape and looking at these guys on the practice field and even being around them, who would be a guy that you would say has impressed you the most so far, whether it's on the field or off the field? I know it's still very, very early, but who would you say it's a guy that has stood out to you so far?
Yeah, I can't really single one guy out. The thing that is unique is, like, through all the Zoom meetings and, the coaches not being able to be with the guys, I'm very impressed with the whole young rookie class. They're all business. They've they all know their game plans and what they've been taught and what's been installed so far. Their business, a very good group of young men that are taking all the steps right now to say that they can be good pros.
And last question for you: when you look at just everything overall, looking at the whole team, what would you say right now at this moment is still a position that maybe is lacking some kind of depth there that it's needed this season?
It's really hard right now because we're just getting started and guys are stepping in and you're seeing things about them. The longer the competition goes, you can see, because we just put on the pads today, I think that we feel like there's depth, but we'll get to see the longer they compete which one doesn't belong. But we feel like we've got good depth at all of the positions that will allow us to practice and do things to be competitive the whole time. The difference is now we have 80 guys as opposed to 90, so it'll be keeping guys healthy and just competing.
Okay, you got to give me a little something more for that question. Hold on. We know, for example, the O-line. We know that there are certain guys that are battling with injuries. We know, certain injuries have started to pop up. Certain guys that haven't been able to necessarily go full on the practice so far. Is there a certain position that maybe you just don't quite feel fully comfortable just yet, just mainly because of certain guys not being able to be full on right now?
No, because I think if certain guys aren't there, we get an opportunity to see the young guys. We kind of have a feeling for what the veteran guys can do. So if there's people that are out, there's other guys that are stepping up in the way Coach McCarthy does practice, you get to see, maybe a guy that's a 2 or 3 against the ones, and you get to see how he competes that way. So I feel you can never feel like you have enough offensive linemen. That's probably the hardest one to fill. But that's a position that you would say, if there's one that you say, boy, I wish that we had another one of these, it's offensive linemen, because, that unit of 5 guys, they play together, and you lose one, you want to have somebody step up and not lose, any momentum that you have. So that's the hardest position.
Right. Now, I said that was the last question, but I was kidding. So This is the last question. Which position are you just most excited about right now?
I think our pass rush, it'll be an exciting competition there. I think we have a good mix of corners that have been here, that have been a part of us. We brought in some free agents, and then we had some guys in the draft. So that's going to be a competitive group.
All right. Well, Will, thank you so much for your time. We're excited. Hopefully your job is not as hard this year.
It's
very tough.
It's going to be difficult with, and managing it all, but that's all a part of it. And so, we're attacking this with eyes wide open, and we're excited about the opportunity to keep going and bring this game and, get NFL football back.
Please don't mess it up. Please don't.
I'll do my best.
We're excited. Well, thank you so much. Guys, this was Will McClay, Dallas Cowboys VP of Player Personnel. We'll see you next time on DallasCowboys.com.